Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and today I am back with my weekly WIP and Chat. So first off, if you are new, I just want to say welcome. I'm really glad that you're here. And if you didn't know, WIP stands for Work in Progress. I'm going to be working on a diamond painting today, while Chat means that I'm going to chat with you just for the next hour or so. We'll talk about some diamond painting stuff and what I've been up to and YouTube stuff, kind of the whole range of stuff. But I always look forward to the chance to catch up with you each week. And this week's video is going up a couple of days late. Thank you so much for being so flexible as you always are. I put up a post on my community tab on my channel page and hoped that most of you would see that if you were wondering where my usual Monday morning WIP and Chat was. I just had a very busy weekend that I'll talk to you a little bit more about later, and needed to just bump it by a couple of days. So I hope that is all right. It's going to be just like a normal Monday morning WIP and Chat. We're just here on Wednesday. So next week should hopefully should be back to normal. That said, let me talk about what I'm working on and with today. I'm actually working on this kit called Me Time. Oh my god. Excuse me for yawning. I'm so sorry. I am sleepy today. This is called Me Time. It is by the artist Miss Holly and is from Diamond Art Club. It's actually coming out today, the day that this video is going up itself. So if you're trying to grab this kit when it drops, I am wishing you all the very, very best of luck. This was artwork that I remembered very distinctly from voting. I really enjoy Miss Holly's artwork quite a lot, and the color palette and overall vibe of this one was really speaking to me. So when I knew I was getting this as a sneak peek, I decided it was like not even a question. I really wanted to kit it up and work on it right away. So I'm on the very last column of it. We're going to be down here in this bottom left corner, working on this section with this little ball of yarn. So we'll get into that in just a moment. And then pens, pen-wise, I'm using this pen from Peachy Keen Pens. I haven't used a pen from them in a while, and I was trying to really dig into my pen collection and see what shops I haven't pulled from recently. And there are a lot, I admit. So I pulled this one out. It's actually a bit longer, I feel like, than a lot of my pens. Like, this is more of like a standard length of pen to me, and so I wonder if it's going to feel like an adjustment when I'm flipping between single and multi-placing. I don't really know. We'll find out. But this is just really pretty, and the pink and white swirl just was really calling my name. The tray is from Munimade. It's a large size tray. My wax that I'm going to use in my single placer is from, the shop is Whimsical Daisies. The name of the product is Not Your Mama's Mud. I really like it a lot. And then I'm going to be using Randa's Crafty Corner putty in my multi-placer. So I'm going to clean out my placers on this one and load up with fresh wax and putty, and then we can get started. Oh, and I don't usually, I kind of got out of the habit of pulling out cover minders to use in my WIP and Chat. So I've kind of moved away from using them in my day-to-day because I tend to just fold back the plastic and not worry about using cover minders. For a while I was pulling them out anyway because it's just fun to have cute coordinating accessories out. And then I just kind of got away from it for a while, kind of out of laziness, because I don't know, the way that my whole storage situation is, my cover minder collection is mostly difficult to get to. So anyway, out of the habit. But I don't know, I kind of felt like I wanted to pull this one out as a little reminder. There have been a couple of different awareness kinds of days recently that there was an Autism Acceptance Day or Autism Awareness Day recently, which that's very near and dear to my heart, of course, as someone that is not only autistic but has 2 autistic kids, and lots of other ways that I just want other people to feel loved and supported and know that this is a space where you're going to be loved and supported. So this was actually made for me by a viewer. I don't know if they are still around. If you are, you know who you are. And the last time I remembered showing this and saying, I don't know if this person is still around, they popped up in my comments and said, yes, I'm still here. But this was a gift. They had seen me open up a couple of things from this shop where the sticker is from. This is actually a sticker. And the shop has since closed. It was an autism, like awareness or acceptance type shop by a neurodivergent owner. And so my viewer friend saw me get so excited about these stickers and cast them in resin and with the backing and made them into cover minders for me and gave me a couple. And so still really, really special to me. And I have it out on my desk where I have this little set of shelves sitting on top of my desk that have like a metal frame to them. And so I have some of my very favorite and like most meaningful cover minders on there that I can easily reach for. And this has had a spot there for years now. So I just thought I would pull it out today. I loaded up my putty. I cleaned out the old putty that was in here. This looks like this might be one of my slightly bent multi-placers actually. We'll see. At one point, I thought I saw that Diamond Art Club was changing their multi-placer slightly to add a little bit of extra support, like a little diagonal structure there. But I don't know if they did it with their 12 placers or just some of their other sizes of multi-placers. So I'm not sure. I'm going to keep an eye out and see if they maybe will be changing those. But I wouldn't say no to a little bit of extra support there that makes it less likely that the metal will bend. Because that I feel like is my only complaint about these placers. Otherwise, they're my ride or die either way. But that would be a nice improvement if they were able to make it. Okay, we've got my pen all loaded up. I will have everything linked below if any of this is looking like something you want to check out for yourself. So I'll have all the links below if you're interested. Oh, I didn't actually washi tape off the sections here. I have a video on how and why I use washi tape with diamond painting. If I remember, I'll link it below. It's always linked in my unboxings because I always do a set of beginner specific video links when I do an unboxing video. And how and why I use washi tape is always one of those videos. So if you're interested in me kind of demoing it and all that in more detail, I do have a video for that. It is a few years old at this point, but it is still, I feel like if I did that video again today, it would basically be the same kind of info. So you can, I guess, take or leave that. So let me grab a color. Let me set my focus so that you're not going in and out of focus the whole time that we are chatting today. And we will go ahead and get started. Let's do a little bit of outlining first, actually. And I'm so curious. It's always fun to hear about how other people like to diamond paint. When you have artwork that has distinct outlines, like this one kind of does, the outline of the book, and well, that's really kind of the main one, and even on the tray over here. Do you like to start with the outline or end with the outline, or just you don't even pay attention or care that it's an outline, you just work with some other method? It really varies. It kind of depends on if the symbol is jumping out at me and how much I feel like it's gonna feel helpful. When I first started diamond painting, I worked on a ton of kits from the artist Mandy Manzano, and her art style in particular I don't know if coloring book style is really the right way to call it, or the right thing to call it, but it has a lot of black outlines. And I remembered I really enjoyed, especially early on, I would do all of the 310 outlining first, and then it almost felt like it was more fun to go in and fill in the colors around it afterward. So it also had the added benefit of 310 drills from DAC, along with a lot of other companies. Back then, were really a toss-up in terms of what the quality was going to be like. And so by starting with the 310, I wasn't having to squeeze potentially problematic 310 drills in around other diamonds. I was able to, I don't know, it was easier to place those first and then fit in the less fussy drills around it. So yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of a throwback. I've been feeling nostalgic lately because I just had my 6-year diamond painting anniversary, thinking back to 6 years ago and what diamond painting meant to me, especially at the time, and things that I did differently then and things that I do the same now that I did then. And this always happens whenever there's a birthday or an anniversary or something. I get so nostalgic and think, back to, oh, what was it like when this particular thing happened? Okay, we're good there. Things like for at least 3 months, I did not multi-place. I single placed exclusively. The idea of multi-placing was just too intimidating to me. I would try multi-placing every once in a while, and there was such a steep learning curve for me that it felt like I was wasting time. Like I was able to single place more quickly and more accurately than multi-placing, which I feel like that is usually how it goes when you're first starting out. But if you can power through the learning curve of it all, then multi-placing for sure is, for me, it's a million times faster. I can't imagine how much longer it would take me to do a kit if I were single placing, especially a kit like this one that has a lot of color blocking. But I remember the third kit that I ever worked on as a diamond painting ever was one of the Mandy Manzano Princess panels from Diamond Art Club. Before they were discontinued, you could still buy the majority of them, most of them on the website. And I had bought, was it called One Worth Melting For, which is the Anna Princess panel. I single placed that entire thing. It took me a month to do. And I felt like I was diamond painting a lot at the time and still just single placing my way through that whole thing. That was crazy. My first 2 kits were these little unlicensed Disney knockoffs from Amazon. They turned out just so badly, you guys. You could not make out half of what was going on in these canvases. But I was happy as a clam because I had just discovered this new craft that was clicking with my brain, and I was just enjoying it so much that it was all about the process for me. I didn't really care about really that much about how it looked finished. I was having a good time. And then after working on a DAC kit and seeing the big difference in that, it was like, well, yeah, never going back to that. I mean, and then I learned about licensing too, so there's always that. But yeah, such a wild ride. And I think the first kit that I ever multi-placed on and learned to multi-place on was a kit from Distracted by Diamonds. This was back when they had Gretel Lusky. I don't think that she's gone on to license anywhere else, but I also haven't seen like any new artwork from her or even any restocks of her old artwork at Distracted by Diamonds in a very, very long time. I would love to see her mermaids and some of her other artwork elsewhere, anywhere as diamond paintings. But there was this really fun, sassy mermaid that I worked on from Distracted by Diamonds. The square drills were mostly okay, but a little bit fussy, and I remember it feeling like it was taking me just a really long time to get the hang of. And that's the other thing. I learned to multi-place with square drills, and in retrospect, like, I should have started with learning to multi-place with round drills. So I don't know. It's funny, the things that you just kind of go with and give a try. And I wasn't too far down the YouTube rabbit hole at that point yet really either. So yeah. So lots of nostalgia. Speaking of nostalgia, I'm just being such a procrastinator about this, you guys. I do this too often, but I'm technically right at my 250th diamond painting. And the way that I'm enabling my own procrastination is that I'm saying I'm going to commemorate with whatever is the 250th diamond painting that I finish. If I went straight through and finished this diamond painting, this would be my 250th finish. And I'm maybe okay with that, but I'm really going to sit and look at my Gems Flow app and try to decide, is this what I want to be my 250th finish? Or I always thought I would pick out a kit for my rainy day stash or something, like not necessarily a new release that just so happened to be really strongly speaking to me. So I don't know, but there is part of me that goes, how well does this kit actually represent what diamond painting is to me? Like, which a lot of it is me time. And so there's something that would be really appropriate about this one too. But I really wanted to use this milestone as an excuse to work on something, well, from my rainy day stash, like something really special that I've been holding off on working on. And so I'm not sure. I'm going to go through my gem slow tonight. Before I actually finish this painting, I will go through and I will decide one way or another. Otherwise, I will probably quite literally get this one all the way up till the last section and then just wait to decide. I sometimes really am just flying by the seat of my pants, and I know I'm not the only one. I know that I'm in good company here, but so many times there's things that happen. It's like that wasn't intentional. That just sort of, I just snuck up on me and I had to make a last minute decision or something, and that's the position I'm finding myself in right now. So I don't know, you guys, wish me luck. I'm sorry. But that's, 6 years of diamond painting, 250th diamond painting. It's fun to have these milestones lining up like that, and still thinking on some other ways I could kind of commemorate and celebrate this month, especially with that 6 years. There's something that is in the works I will keep you guys posted on that I think I'm pretty sure is going to work out. Just messaging with someone a bit about it, and yeah, so stay tuned. I'm going to be really obnoxious and keep it vague for the moment, but yeah, hopefully good stuff to come. So yeah, my overall thoughts on this kit are that it has been so enjoyable to work on. I think I've been working on it for about a week now, and it has gone very quickly. It has a lot of color blocking, which certainly doesn't hurt, and is definitely one of those kits that I'm enjoying so much that, one, I can't put it down, and also just it feels like it diamond paints faster. I don't know if you guys experience that, if there's artwork or there's something about a kit that you're enjoying so much that I don't know if it's like you're feeling momentum differently and your body is just literally moving faster. I don't know, or if it's just in your head because you keep wanting to pick it up and work on it. But I love this kit. This is, I feel like, one of those kits that the artwork feels so suited to my taste, especially right now. And like the color palette, the style, like the artist, so much of it is, just my taste. And so the reason I had to work on it right away. Let's see, what color should we do next? That was a really bright AB color. How about, let's get through some color blocking. Let's do this pink color here. But yeah, no complaints about this one. I feel like there maybe is some really minor gapping, but I'm not sure if I'm really noticing gapping or if I just had the thought planted in my head by a friend who was like, have you noticed any gapping on any of DAC's newer kits? Like, not really. Like Fairy Workspace, no, I really didn't, and that just came out a few weeks back. And this one, it's like, well, maybe in some of the areas with lots of color blocked light colors, maybe just a little bit, but I feel like it's just because they're light colors, but that it looks like there's really minor gapping. So I don't know, I'm unsure, but the drill quality I feel like has been really solid, and I'm loving the special drill placement and stuff in this one. It's just, it's very happy. It's making me feel very happy too. And organizing this one, I meant to mention this in my sneak peek video. I had a little bit of a mishap with that video, actually, where I ended up having to re-record the last few clips because I had originally recorded it and sat down to do that last night, so Monday night, because I wanted to put in an update with my progress on this kit and stuff. And I sat down, it took like 10 minutes to do the actual recording itself, and then thought, okay, perfect, that's good to go. I tore down all of my recording stuff, grabbed a snack, grabbed a drink, set up with my video game. I'm still on Clair Obscure, but it's going faster now. We'll talk more about it later. I sat down with my video game to just chill for the rest of my evening, and as my videos were finishing, like I was doing some like little pre-edits and stuff on them, and then went to actually edit the clips together, and came to find out that there was no sound. I thought it was maybe a glitch or something with my phone, so I'm restarting my phone. I'm like, this can't be right. the video is playing fine, but there's no sound. What is happening? And no matter what I did, there was simply no sound there. My best guess is that I accidentally just slightly unplugged my mic, which is wired, and my guess is I just slightly tugged it out when I was adjusting how far in I was zoomed on the canvas, and it wasn't enough that I noticed it, but it was enough that meant I picked up 0 audio. So I just set everything back up, re-record, hope that I wasn't forgetting anything, but I did. I had meant to include, which I did on my first pass, I forgot in my second pass, to show how I had organized my diamonds for this one. Since it has 99 colors, I decided to organize it by symbol instead of leaving it in DMC order like I usually do. And organizing it by symbol has been immensely helpful. I put all the letters together, I put all the numbers together. I have things like all of the triangle shaped symbols. Here, I'll show you real quick. So I have like all the triangle shaped symbols together, like all of the arrows and stuff. Sorry about the zoom issue there. But organizing it that way with this many colors was really, really helpful. And I highly recommend if you've got a kit with a lot of colors, or even if it doesn't have a lot of colors, but you're having a little bit of trouble with figuring out, like just locating the symbols easily, reorganizing them in whatever way works for your brain, I think can make a really big difference. So yes, highly recommend, and definitely helped with this one too. So yeah, lots of fun on this one. I have not really done much on my other WIP, which is Herald of Spring from Diamond Dots. I worked on just a little bit of it for a demo video I put up a few days back, and I didn't even finish that section after I finished recording that video because I was hitting this one really hard. I wanted to see how far could I get on it before I needed to record the ending clips to include in the sneak peek. I had thought that potentially I could have finished it, but we had a really, really, really busy weekend, and so I just didn't have the time that I would have if it wouldn't have fallen on this particular weekend, which is okay. It doesn't have to be a race or a rush, but it was a little like mini challenge of sorts I'd kind of given myself just to see, like, ooh, I'm loving working on it anyway. I wonder how far I can really get in it. But anyway, so I've been focusing pretty much exclusively on this one and haven't worked on Herald of Spring, but I am planning to pull that one back out. I'm anticipating Herald of Spring is going to be a longer term WIP just because it is so big, and I think I'm going to get bored with parts of it a little more easily. But I don't know, this has been an unusual year. How it's turned into, like I mentioned in my monthly review, the year of like big canvases has been, I don't know, unexpected, but I'm not mad at it at all. It's letting me get to some kits that I otherwise wouldn't necessarily pull out. And yeah, my style is shifting just a little bit. Not necessarily the art style, but maybe some of the specific diamond paintings I'm drawn to working on. Which is funny because so many kits that I've destashed in the past couple of years, I've destashed because they're so big. And I'm like, wonder if I'm going to look back and regret any of those. But, it is what it is. Yeah. So I had somewhere else I was going to go with that, and it's just left my brain. I just totally lost my train of thought. It happens quite often. So yeah, there's that. I enjoyed doing my monthly review video and hearing from you guys in the comments. One of my goals for April is to try to get back to more consistently responding to comments, because I started out the year being decently consistent about it. And then anyone else feel like March? Did you get to the end of March and now you're like, it's April and you're looking back and you're like, where did March go? Like, what happened? Where did that month go? You guys, seriously, there was so much that like I needed to get done and that I had plans to get done. And I just simply feel like I blinked and March was over. So, I feel like I spent the whole month of March being like, oh yeah, I need to get better about responding to comments again and hearting comments at least and stuff. And then it was the end of the month and I was like, wait, I didn't meet that goal. So April, we're trying for April. Okay. Try to make that more of a goal. And I don't know if there's any specific events I'm going to join in on, because I keep just working on these big old canvases that keep calling my name. But there's some good events going on. There's a Chrysabug along by the Stealthy Crafter, and I love Chrysabug, so maybe I'll find a Chrysabug to work on, but I gotta also get to some of these like non-DAC kits too, so we'll see. But let me know any events you guys are joining in on in April, or are you kind of taking a little breather of sorts, which is completely understandable. Let's see what else. Oh, I was also just gonna mention, I saw this come up in a couple of my videos recently, and I just wanted to acknowledge it with a whole lot of empathy for everyone involved, and that's just small shop stuff. I know that I've seen a bit of discussion in a few different places just about pricing with small shop stuff lately, and just my heart goes out to everyone involved. I know as customers, if you're like me, you're on an extremely, extremely tight budget right now. And it really sucks that being on a tight budget and that whole kind of situation and everything that's going on is aligning with costs for small shop owners going up and them quite literally being forced to raise their prices in order to like not lose money. And it's just a terrible combination. And I understand for a lot of customers, it's like, holy cow, these prices have just gotten out of control. It's too much. I can't do it. And believe me, if it's not in your budget, it's not in your budget. The numbers are what the numbers are. I feel like I've been saying that a lot as my husband and I have been talking a lot about budget stuff lately. It's like, just the numbers are what the numbers are. Like, we simply can or can't do this thing, you know, as much as we might want to. It's, the numbers are what the numbers are. And I would never, ever, ever tell someone to spend outside their means, or if they feel like the price doesn't match the value that they're getting or something like that. Personally, everyone's got to make whatever decisions they've got to make. And I also feel for so many small shop owners that I just feel like I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, possibly. I do that a lot. I give a lot of grace and a lot of benefit of the doubt, sometimes when I probably shouldn't. But I just truly have to believe that for so many of these small shop owners, that they're just trying to survive. They're not setting out to be like, I am going to raise my prices just because I just want more money or something like that. Or I'm trying to like put my customers in a bind, or possible customers in a bind. I just can't bring myself to believe that that is the case. But my heart hurts for everyone in this like really crappy situation. And I know not everyone's had like positive experiences with some small shops, and then that kind of sours you on wanting to buy from small shops at all, which, hey, also I completely understand. And so I don't know, I guess I just wanted to acknowledge it and say that if you're feeling any type of way about it, I understand and I get it. And if for the small shop owners that I truly believe have their hearts in the right place and are just doing the bare minimum to try to survive, like, I also see you, and I'm sorry for the whole situation that so many of us are in right now. And I'm hoping, like, I just hope that it'll turn around and that we're gonna get through it. And I don't know, I guess I don't really have a great point to make with that. I guess I just wanted to mention it because I've seen it come up a little bit more often lately, and very understandably so. So I don't know. Anyway, chatting about other things too. This past week was very busy and very productive for me. So over the weekend, kind of catching up from the weekend, we had a small like get together with some friends at our place for Adam's birthday, because Adam's birthday was on Sunday. And we also had gotten together with Adam's sister and her kids. We all had gone to see the Mario movie together, which was a lot of fun. And then we had a really full weekend as well. And I had a lot on my to-do list. So I did knock out a bunch of my to-do list last week. I think I talked in last week's WIP and Chat about ways that I was bribing myself to get stuff done. And I managed to check off all of the really time sensitive stuff. I got all the stuff for my taxes in, which was such a relief to get that all done and on time for our tax person. And I also I needed to get out my quarterly gifts for Patreon members. I do have a Patreon if you're interested in just some additional, perks and behind the scenes stuff. And if you want to support my channel more than you are now, but what you're doing now by watching this video is so incredibly and genuinely appreciated. And you don't need to do anything more than that. But just wanted to mention that context if you're like, what? But yeah, anyway, I needed to work on those, and I got that taken care of. I called and scheduled a few more of our doctor's visits because we're just kind of in a whole spiral of specialists and shenanigans and stuff, both Micah and myself at the moment, actually. So yeah, I felt really good about knocking out a bunch of my to-do list, and then I rewarded myself by getting to start my new book and start my big cross-stitch project. And what was the other thing? Oh, go back to playing Claire Obscure and working towards the ending of that game. So that felt good. Let's knock out my to-do list. And then for Micah, we sent in, so his birthday was last weekend. We sent in cupcakes to school with him on Monday, and he was so excited. He came home with a little birthday hat that they had made, and they sung happy birthday to him and everything. And it was very cute. Every time he would eat one of because we had a few leftover cupcakes that we were kind of spreading out and going through. Each time he went to go eat a leftover cupcake, he wanted to do the whole put a candle in it, sing happy birthday to him, song and dance, which was so cute that we went ahead and, of course, just indulged him because why not? And he just thought that was the cutest thing. He's been so obsessed with the Mario Castle still that he got for his birthday, and then getting to kind of cap it all off by going to see the new Mario movie, Super Mario Galaxy movie. We went on Friday with family, and kid had been counting down the days to when this movie was coming out. He was a little bit it took a bit for me to sort of explain and be able to help him wrap his brain around the fact that even though the movie was coming out technically on Wednesday the 1st, that we weren't going that day, that we were going to go on Friday. And he got there, but he was kind of like, the movie is out on April 1st. So we're going to see the movie on April 1st. And no, that's we got tickets for. We're going to wait till, after school on Friday. That way we can meet up. Anyway, trying to explain it in a way that he understands. And he got there, though. And so we went, and oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I think that we made his whole year. He spent the first 5 minutes, fully 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, hopping up and turning to me or to Adam and going, "It's a Super Mario It's a Super Mario Galaxy movie. It's a Super Mario Galaxy movie." He was mind blown that it was here. We were watching it. We were in the theater, and every time there was, a new character, popped up or something else that he recognized, he was on cloud nine. It was so, so sweet because he's just so into Mario right now, and being able to have this perfect timing of this movie coming out right around his birthday, it just made my heart so warm. I had all the warm fuzzies. My heart was full. It was a bit chaotic. It was kind of trying to walk that fine line between, we're in a kids movie, it's the middle of the day, he's gonna make some noise, but also trying to be he was definitely one of the loudest kids in the theater, and trying to figure out well, at what point we want to try to rein it in a little bit. We don't want to completely ruin the experience for everyone else, but also it's a kids movie, it's gonna make a little bit of noise. I don't know. Trying to find where that line was a little bit tricky for me, I admit. And but I think we did all right. And he really just had the very best time, and immediately was asking to go and see it again. He went to look it up on the TV, and they've added basically a filler spot for it in a few different apps on the TV, and it's just an option to pre-order it. And poor guy does not totally understand why he can see it there. Like he can see other movies or shows, but he can't actually watch it. Like he doesn't understand the whole concept of a pre-order. Like it's just there to tell us that it's going to be available at some point. I have no idea when it's going to hit streaming, but yeah, he's gonna lose his mind whenever it does, and probably watch that on repeat for 5 to 7 business days or more. But yeah, it went pretty well, all things considered, braving the movie and all that. And then when we were done with the movie, we basically had to race straight home for Adam's birthday hangout. We basically got home, and a few minutes later, the first of his friends was knocking on the door. And we had a really nice time with them, actually. I am absolutely just classic introvert, and I was a little bit nervous about going from the whole movie outing and everything, and going straight into like basically a party and having, 10 people over or something like that. And I was a little bit like socialized out partway through, but then one of the folks that was here had needed a ride home and only lived 15 or 20 minutes from us. And I was like, oh, I could take them home. And so I got a little break that way. And then when I got back around 11:30. And they had started a game of Cards Against Humanity, and we're just up to all sorts of shenanigans. But I'd had the chance to recharge a little bit, and so I didn't actively join in and play. I basically teamed up and gave advice to a couple of people that were sitting near me, and it was wildly inappropriate, but it was a really fun time. And Adam's friends are just very, very sweet, and they're just good people. And why I call them his friends and not also my friends is because a lot of them are people that he works with in the film industry, and he'll go up to LA and see them or go to their shows and stuff. And that's just not something that I really do as much of, not because I'm unwelcome. They would honestly love if I were there more often, and they're always so warm and welcoming to me. But just a mix of me being the introvert that I am and the logistics with our kids and stuff. And it's if I wanted to go up, we'd have to get a sitter. And so every once in a while we'll have Adam's parents watch our kids that I can go up to. But most of the time it's no, it's fine. We're good. But when they do come down to us, they're always just so very, very, very warm and welcoming. And it's I didn't feel like I had to put on a bunch of makeup or look perfect or look a certain way or have a perfect house. No, everyone was just happy to just spend time together. That's why we were hanging out. It wasn't about, putting on appearances or something. And so I really appreciated that. It made it very easy to just get to relax and spend time with them. And most importantly, just celebrate Adam's birthday. And Adam loved getting to he appreciated so much that his friends made the trip down and stuff. So that was our Friday evening. And then Saturday and Sunday, Adam's been working on a film project that has him gone most weekends, a good chunk of last month, and then most of this month too. So I was flying solo with the kids for the most part, which my kids are at this point are relatively low maintenance. It's fine. It's not a huge deal. It's not like when you have a newborn or a young toddler and it's I needed Adam or other support around. Flying solo was a much bigger deal, and it's just not as big of a deal now as it was, when my kids are really little. And so it was totally fine. I ended up actually going ahead and taking the kids to an Easter service on Sunday morning, and it went pretty well too, and I got a cute picture with them and stuff. So yeah, it was a good weekend. But with Sunday being Easter and Adam's actual birthday, I just got to the end of the day and thought, I'm very tired. And Adam, I need that drill color. That container went flying. Okay. Adam having been gone most of Sunday for his film project and stuff, he got home around 8 or 9 o'clock. And I was I just kind of want to hang out. I don't really want to sit and film. I'm tired and I want to get to hang out with you on your birthday. I'm just going to bump my my WIP and Chat for this week. So that's why it got bumped. We mostly just sat, and who I managed to get him hooked on this video game too, he was mostly playing that and playing one of the like kind of endgame bosses that ends up not really being an endgame boss. So that was just fun. We just chatted, and he knocked that part out, and it was a very relaxing, just chill evening. So yeah, I'm calling the weekend a win. And now the kids are on spring break, and so we're finding different ways to keep them busy, keep them out of trouble. We talked to Adam's parents earlier, and they had the idea that we could maybe come down to their neck of the woods. I think we're going to go down on Friday, and we're going to head down to them. And then they had done this really fun, it's a really, really inexpensive train ride where you can take the train from Oceanside to San Diego. And they had done it once and thought that the kids would really enjoy it. My kids both, especially Connor, they both really love trains. And I think it would be just such a fun novelty. So I think we're going to do that on Friday. Just make a little day trip of it. And, we weren't going to obviously do anything extravagant, or we didn't really have any plans for spring break. It was like, well, we'll see some family and do some swimming and stuff because it's warm enough here for that. Kind of unseasonably warm. And our pool just opened at the beginning of this month. So we're keeping it extremely low key, but this seems like this will be a nice like little special thing we can do with the kids and with Adam's parents too. So that's going to be Friday. And then tomorrow we're supposed to get together with Adam's sister and her kids to do kind of a combination. Like there's 3 different birthdays that happen between our families in the span of like 3 weeks. So like Micah, Adam, and then one of my nephews. And so we're going to do a little combination hangout with them to celebrate birthdays and Easter all at once. And so that'll be tomorrow. Yeah. And then that's kind of most of our spring break spoken for then. We did take the kids swimming today. It's, like I said, been unseasonably warm here. It went up into the 80s again today. It was in the 90s a week or 2 ago. I'm very grumpy about it because I cherish the cooler weather that we have here. And that cooler weather is supposed to stick around like through June. And it kind of feels like I don't even know. Like it's been hot for weeks and I just don't even know if is it going to go back down at all, or is it just going to be like this until summer? I don't even know, but I'm very cranky about it. And so it was warm enough though that the kids got to swim today. They were so excited. They've been ready for our neighborhood's pool to reopen, and they both knew like April 1st is when it reopens. And so we had promised that we would go over spring break at least once. And so that was today. They swam for like 2 hours and we're just happy as can be. And yeah, so it's been our spring break so far. I also had a really cute heartwarming story to share, and let me just toss my pen. And I cannot remember if I mentioned this in my WIP and Chat last week or if I just mentioned it in my vlog, which that's also Patreon and YouTube memberships. But anyway, this really just happy, heartwarming story where, long story short, there's a blanket that Micah has that he's basically snuggled with and wrapped himself up in since he was very little, toddler, baby days when it was, safe and stuff for him to have a blanket in his crib and all that. He was even swaddled in it when he was very, very little. And so now he just turned 8, and he still to this day would wrap himself up in this blanket, like kind of cocoon himself in, get that sensory input while he's sleeping and stuff. Well, Scout at one point a week or 2 ago had gone into Micah's room, and I think it was an accident, honestly. I don't totally know how it came to be, but basically he chewed a couple of really big holes into this blanket of Micah's. Now, the kicker is that this blanket was part of a limited release from a baby gear company that they still exist, but they did like one run of this particular blanket in this size, and Tula is the name of it. They're mostly known for their baby carriers. They were really, really, really popular when my kids were babies, and the market for them and their popularity has died down significantly in the past several years. And for the past few years, I'd been looking for a backup of this blanket, the specific print and size and everything of this blanket. I've been keeping an eye out on eBay and Mercari and some buy-sell trade groups that are specific to this brand on Facebook. For a couple of years, I've been watching to see if I could get a replacement on the secondary market for this blanket, with no luck. And just for an instance like this one, like I really wanted to have a replacement in case something like this happened. So Micah, I kind of had managed to get him to use some of these sort of alternative blankets from the same company at different prints, but he just was like, he couldn't get comfortable in them. I don't know if the material was slightly different or if something about the print, I honestly am not totally sure, but it just wasn't really doing the trick. And so the day after Scout had chewed these holes in this blanket, I decided to go ahead and just give it a try, and went into some of the buy-sell trade groups for Tula products and just posted an ISO, an in search of post. And these groups have been virtually dead. Like there's no one really posting in them as much anymore. So I just fully expected this to be a dead end, but I thought, well, I'll try. You guys, within a few hours of me putting up this post, just saying, hey, I'm looking for this specific print and size of this blanket. And yeah, you guys, I did include a little blurb about why I was looking. I never know if that's going to come off like a sob story and be obnoxious, or if it's just like, I was trying to explain why I needed this specific print and size, basically, and why I was even looking for it and why another like option wouldn't work, I guess. Anyway, within a few hours, someone had commented on my post and said, hey, I actually have one of these. It's still in the bag and unused, and I'd be happy to sell it to you. And I was like, are you serious right now? I couldn't believe it. I was shocked, and I still just thought there's no way. Like, there's going to be something that's not, it's going to be the wrong size, or it's going to be the wrong, this or that, or it's not going to work out. It's going to fall through. And no, she actually did send me a message, and she sent me a picture of it with like the item number and the SKU for it. And I was like, this is exactly the same. Like I was able to match it. I was like, it's the same exact material. It's literally the same blanket. And so I said, yes, oh my gosh, I would love to buy this from you. She didn't even charge me like retail for it. Which she very well absolutely could have. She could have charged me over retail for it and I would have bought it. But she didn't. She like charged me half off retail, which was completely reasonable price for me to pay. And it was on my doorstep within a few days. And I was so excited and got it all washed and stuff. And that night I showed it to Micah, and just the way his face lit up. And he immediately, I was like, do you want to try? He said, yes. And so I draped it over him in bed, and he was just like wiggling around under it because he was so happy and so excited. And then he kind of cocooned himself up in it and gave like a happy sigh and said, this is my favorite blanket. And I just went, okay. I'm just tearing up here. It's fine. But like stuff like this, it was genuinely affecting his sleep, and I was feeling terrible. I was trying all these different other options and stuff, and trying to be like, maybe this is good for trying to help him be more flexible and stuff, but then being like, no, like this is something I don't know, you guys. But I'm just so glad that this worked out, and I'm also feeling like I should probably continue to hunt and see if I can get a backup, like an actual backup, because now this isn't the backup, this is just the replacement. And I still have the same problem now that I did before. Where'd that drill go? It just went flying. It just popped, went shoot. I don't know, it'll turn up later. Oh, here it is. I was like, that's Future's Katie's problem. And, I'm trying to make sure that his blankets don't fall on the floor, and that Scout's not really going into his room unsupervised. Again, I think it was just an accident. Like, I think Scout went in there, because sometimes he'll go in and just lay on the kids' beds, like, they're just comfy to him. But if he takes his bone in, or one of his other, like, chewing toys, sometimes if he's laying on top of their blankets and is chewing away at his toy, and he accidentally also like the blanket gets wrapped up in it, and then he's like, oh, I can chew on the blanket. I really don't think that he set out to be destructive, but it still happened, so I'm trying to prevent it happening again, you know? Anyway, that's my warm fuzzy story that somehow, against all odds, I did manage to track down a replacement for this blanket, and Mike has been sleeping much better, I have to say. So yay for that working out. I feel just beyond grateful that worked out. Let's see what else has been going on. Oh, something really cute happened at Adam's birthday party. So one of his friends brought their kiddo, who is like 13 years old and also neurodivergent like Connor, and they were nervous about bringing their kiddo, and we had said, no, it's totally fine. As it turned out, he and Connor hit it off. And I was like, they are just on the same wavelength. They're speaking each other's language. And at the end of it, they were both like, when can we hang out again? Like, when can we play together again? And apparently the next day, this kiddo was asking his parent, you know, when can I see Connor again? And they let us know about that. And then Connor asked, who's like, when can I see so-and-so again? So we'll see if we can get them together again, because, you know, especially for neurodivergent kiddos, social situations and making friends can just look a little different for them. And so I was so happy to see that Connor had someone that he clicked with so well right away, and they were just having a fun time together. And just seem to get each other, you know. So we'll try to get them together again soon. And I would love for Connor to have a friend he can hang out with, maybe like in the summer, because Connor's old enough that he's aging out of some summer programs, which I hate. Like, I'm really sad about it. And especially the stuff that tends to be more like low cost or no cost, which is what we're looking for. You know, like VBS type programs and stuff. It's like he's, you know, there's one or two that he can do for going into 6th grade, but for the most part, it's like, no, well, he's too old for it now. And both for his sake, for the summer and stuff, I want him to have some stuff that he can do that's not just hanging out at home all the time. So we'll see. If you guys have any creative ideas, if you've got kids, especially kids that are more in that slightly older age group, like going into middle school and stuff, even though he's not technically going into middle school, like 6th grade is still considered elementary school in our district. But yeah, if you guys have creative ideas and things you're going to be doing, feel free to share so I can steal your ideas, please. As far as what I've been reading and watching and listening to, reading, I have gotten a handful of chapters into The Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson, and gosh, what a treat to be able to start that book as a reward for finishing my taxes. Yeah, it's been really good to get back into. It just picks up right about where the last book left off, and so it's been, I really enjoy these characters a lot, and so getting to just dive right back in with them has been really rewarding. And I did get a little bit of a slow start to it, though, because as far as my watching goes, I ended up continuing with watching The Untamed, this Chinese drama or C-drama that had just come really highly recommended to me by a few different people. And in last week's WIP and Chat, I talked about how I was just feeling very lukewarm on it, feeling like I don't really know if this is totally for me. But I just kind of kept going, how about I try one more episode? Almost for lack of having a different show to put on. Like, it was just easy to open up Netflix and hit next episode. And then somewhere around like episode 30 or 35, it's like it took a turn and it hooked me. And I was like, oh, okay. Adam was cracking up, though, because he at one point had looked over my shoulder and was like, oh, you're still watching it? I thought you might give up on it. And he's like, what episode are you on? And I said, oh, like 35 or something, or 20. What was that? 30 or 35? And he said, oh, so you actually must be enjoying it a lot. And I said, well, I just started enjoying it more. And he said, you stuck this show out for 30, 35 episodes? before you decided that you liked it? He's like, that's a long time to stick out a show. And I said, you're completely right. I have no idea like why I really was on board with just sticking this out. I'm really glad that I did, but it's a whole different pace of show. It's very slow paced, and so much of it is because of like censorship laws and stuff. They're really limited in terms of what they can even show. Like they can't even call these creatures zombies because I don't know, this weird censorship thing. They have to like call them something else and like change their characteristics slightly from the original source material. It's interesting. I kind of want to dive into that a little bit because I'm curious about how that all works. But I don't like if this is kind of how this genre, like if that's usually how C-dramas are, I don't know that it's really truly for me. I'm glad I stuck this one out, but I don't. Maybe I'll eat my words. I very well might, but I don't see myself, diving into a bunch more C-dramas really, especially if like this is the one that tends to be the most popular. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I finished the show. Long story short, I finished the show on Monday, and it was very cute in the way that it was like I never would have expected that one of the most romantic episodes of a show I've ever watched was just because there were these like slightly longer glances between these characters. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just so romantic. Like nothing. I don't know. It was really, really interesting to actually watch the whole show. So I don't know if there's anyone here that has watched this show or any of the other iterations of it, because there's other adaptations. There's like multiple other adaptations of it. Feels very niche to me, and I don't expect any of you will also have seen it. But if you have, I'm curious if you had a similar experience, especially like if this isn't a genre of TV or show that you typically consume either. So anyway, that was my watching. I also went last week. There was like a super discount day at one of actually kind of a sketchy movie theater as it turned out, but I got like a $5 movie ticket and was able to go see Project Hail Mary. And I just haven't seen a lot of movies lately, but Adam had gone and seen this one. My parents had seen it. Basically everyone that saw this movie was like, you need to see this movie. It's so good. And I am going to go ahead and say the same, you guys. I really enjoyed it quite a lot. And I'm someone that can get a little nervous about like the intensity of space-based movies. And I didn't really feel that as much with this one. I'm not going to say more for fear of spoilers, but I really did like it quite a lot. And I feel like it's very like accessible in terms of, I think a lot of people would find it really enjoyable. And so if you're looking for a good movie to see, I feel like that would be a pretty safe bet. I have not read the book. I know a lot of people want to like read the original. If it's something based on a book, they want to read that first. But I just knew that it's not my genre of book that I usually enjoy. So I just was happy to go and see the movie. And I didn't feel like I was missing out exactly because I hadn't read the book ahead of time. It was really good. So highly recommend. And I feel like virtually everyone I've talked to that has seen it or mentioned seeing it is like, yeah, no, I really loved it. So anyway, highly recommend that one. And listening to, I don't really have anything to add, anything new for this one this week, but let me know if you've had any new artists or albums or anything come across your feed that you're really loving at the moment. Is that, you're kind of a trashy drill. It got like a little tiny bit of the corner cut out. So life's too short to place less than perfect drills. So that's kind of my reading, watching, listening to, and then kind of the bonus category of gaming. I finally decided to look up a spoiler-free guide for Act 3 of Claire Obscure Expedition 33. This video game that I really, really, really am loving. It's like brain chemistry altering kind of story in my opinion. But I just was finding myself floundering a little bit with Act 3 where it's just so not structured. I kept ending up in areas that I was massively underleveled for and just getting frustrated. So I finally was like, you know what? I want to enjoy this game as much as I was before. And so I'm just going to look up, and I found a spoiler-free like rough guide that was like, check out some of these areas. Excuse me. First, you can prioritize this maybe, and has a little bit better flow before I go into the it's all the exploration and stuff that you can do before you go into the final boss and stuff. So trying to draw out the end of the game as long as I can. It's one of those games I'm going to be really sad when it's over and when I feel like there's not more new story to discover. And I just am so glad that so many of you recommended this game to me and that I did finally sit down and give it a shot. It's so good. And I'll have to sit with it for a while after I finish it and try to decide. It probably is going to crack one of my top 3 or 4 favorite games that I've ever played if I had to guess, and I haven't even finished it yet. It's really good. We'll see if that sticks once I've sat on it for a bit. But yeah, I won't say anything more, but if this is the first you're hearing me talk about this game or the first you've heard of this game in general and you're a gamer and thinking of playing it, I will pass along the same suggestion that others gave me that I feel like is really invaluable, and that is to go into this game blind, with no spoilers or as little info as you possibly can, because the twists and reveals are so rewarding if you can manage to avoid spoilers. So what I've got coming up this week. So I'm noodling on some different video ideas, videos that are a little bit outside of my kind of standard week to week wheelhouse, something that's not just an unboxing or review or whip and chat or something. I have a couple that I'm noodling on, kind of like how I did my big wax and putty tutorial video last month. So I'll keep you posted on when I have that video ready and stuff. I don't know that I'll have it ready for this weekend just because it is spring break and we have a lot of plans over the next few days. Maybe the following weekend. I like to do videos like these on the weekends if I can. But I do have a couple of unboxings that'll be coming your way, possibly. Could use to maybe do a small shop haul at some point. And trying to figure out what I want to work on for my 250th diamond painting. So hopefully some interesting and fun videos coming your way this week. So let's see. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, I always like to give you an emoji to share if you're so inclined. How about an emoji that to you represents me time, whatever me time looks like for you? Since this kit is called Me Time and it's, all about self-care and you deserve that time for yourself and stuff, there's an emoji that represents that to you, whether that's a book, maybe a diamond for diamond painting. I think that there's maybe a yarn ball like you've got in this image for crochet. And if you are so inclined to let me know what you were working on while we were chatting today and how you've been, I always love hearing from you guys. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here, maybe finish up this section, and then, I don't know, my husband's playing Clair Obscure right now. I might go see if he'll let me kick him off the Xbox so that I can have a little bit of time. But I'm going to get this video up for you guys. Thanks for being flexible again with me getting us up late this week. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that you're doing really well. Got some good crafting done today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're not already. I'd love to have you here. You'll see these weekly whip and chats from me, usually on Mondays, and other unboxings and reviews from a variety of different companies and other diamond painting related videos like how-tos and tutorials. I hope you're doing very well, friends. Have a wonderful week. Happy crafting. I will talk to you in the next one. Bye, guys.